Kusasangpo, this is Saturday and welcome to our weekly magazine. Our top stories. His Majesty the 4th Duke Gyalpo graced the consecration ceremony of the Buddha statue at Kunsel Poda in Thimphu. The government has not yet decided to merge Business Opportunity and Information Center with Bhutan Development Bank. The services of 42 employees of the Royal Education Council are extended by 6 months. Now the details. His Majesty the 4th Duke Gyalpo graced the consecration ceremony of the Buddha statue at Kunsel Poda in Thimphu on Thursday. The consecration ceremony was presided over by His Holiness the Jekhempo. Other members of the royal family were also present during the ceremony.
The 201 feet tall Buddha Dodinma is one of the largest Buddha statues in the world. While the initial fabrication works for the project started in 2004, the actual construction in Bhutan began in mid-2005.
뜸비기구 디좀칭아처라이 야캅나 징고미데 소응아처라기 야캅디 두 추딩기 야캅베베 볼레틴 데다 추딩기 야캅이 오타 좀치 아처라기 데 추기 땜바 데 잠불리나루 아마고토 베나미 데 뜸바 투비온보 베니디기 아니 뜸바 투비온보기 군인 디좀칭아처라이 야캅나 이젠답도 치바와칭아치 야캅디 추딩기 야캅이 오타 디기튼 수베발라
The project was initiated by Lam Tsring Wandi, the chairman of Menjong Chetin Sokpa. The main sponsor of the project is a Singaporean businessman. However, for now, the project is not fully complete. Lam Tsring Wandi said it will take about 2 to 4 years more. Once complete, the statue will also house over 100,000 smaller statues made up of copper and gilded in gold. Located at Kunsel Podang, about 6 kilometers from Thimphu town, the site is expected to be a major pilgrimage center and a focal point for Buddhists from all over the world to converge, practice, meditate and retreat. Singzam for BBS News.
His Royal Highness Gyasap Jimmy Dojo Wangchuk graced the groundbreaking ceremony of the Salang Tendril for the upcoming Kholungchu hydroelectric project at Drongmi under Tongmijangsa Gyok in Trasiangsi on Friday. The project is being dedicated to the celebration of the 60th birth anniversary of His Majesty the 4th King.
His Royal Highness was received with a chibdil procession by the officials of the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Tashiangsi Zongkak, the Green Power Corporation, Kholungchu Hydroelectric Project Management, and local people. The program included Lapsang Tusul, groundbreaking, presentation of the overview of the project, and cultural programs. His Royal Highness interacted with the people who offered tokchang and granted tokha to over 1,000 people who had come to attend the ceremony. The Minister for Ministry of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Work and Human Settlement, and members of parliament from Tashikang and Tashiang Dzongkhag's, government officials, local leaders, and project counterpart officials from India also attended the function. According to the Economic Affairs Minister, the project is significant as it is launched while the country is marking the 60th birth anniversary of His Majesty the 4th Duke Gyalpo.
Ngachirei gyakhap nalu te gelyong gi siju lasha yebi gi nale peljo rango rando gi siju di.
Of all the policies, our kings consider the policy of economic self-sufficiency very important. Therefore, this project will help in realizing this important vision of our kings. As we implement the project, we must keep in mind and thank Their Majesties, the kings, for their selfless service to the people and the nation.
Kolongchu Hydroelectric Project is the first joint venture hydroelectric project between Bhutan and India to be implemented in the country. The project is expected to cost around 70 billion yutam by the time it is commissioned in 2022. Once complete, the project will produce 2,568 million units of electricity annually. Later, His Royal Highness visited Gomfukora, where a 3-day-long Janachido Kurim is being performed by more than 130 monks led by the Tashkang Rabde, and offered prayers for the well-being of His Majesty the King, His Majesty the 4th Duke Gyalpo, and the country. His Royal Highness the Gyaltsap also inspected the dam site of Kolongchu Hydroelectric Project at Chumdo, later on the way to Tashiangtse. Pemanamge, BBS News, Kanglong.
The construction of a bridge over Gongri in Tashigang officially began on Sunday. The bridge over Gongri is part of the ruling government's pledge to the people of Uzrunggyok in Tashigang during the election campaign.
The Economic Affairs Minister Norbu Wangchuk graced the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a bridge over Gongri. The 110 meters long Bailey suspension bridge will be constructed at a place called Shingfuturma, next to the existing suspension bridge connecting Uzrunggyok in Tashigang and Damitsikgyok in Mongar. According to Limbo Norbu Wangchuk, who is also the parliament member from Kanglung Samkar Uzrong constituency in Tashigang, the bridge will enable farmers to reach hospital, Dzongkhag office and Tashigang market at a significantly reduced time.
Most of the people are farmers, and it will enable them to have access to the nearest market, which happens to be Tashigang town. So right now, to sell their produce, they travel all the way from Kentong Mani to Kanglum, which takes about 3 to 4 hours back and forth. Now if we have the bridge, they can reach the town in half an hour, 40 minutes. So the distance would be cut short significantly.
The bridge, according to people of Ojrong, will also enable faster developmental activities as the Gyok will now be easier to access. Currently, Ojrong Gyok is considered remote and one of the less developed Gyoks in the Dzongkhag.
We are very thankful for the bridge. If I can live for a few more years, I can now travel easily, and it will help us a lot when someone in the village is sick. So it will definitely benefit us a lot. With the bridge, it is like writing a new chapter in our history.
It is much easier for us to travel to places like Mongor and Tashigang from here. Currently, we have to travel up all the way through Kengdongmani, Kanglung and then to Tashigang.
Besides the local people, the bridge over Gongri will also benefit travelers between Mongor and Samrujongkar districts. The bridge will cut short the travel distance between Mongor and Samrujongkar by 19 kilometers. The bridge will be completed within 1.5 years. The bridge, along with few kilometers of approach road construction, will cost 31 million yutam. The government of India is funding the construction. Pemonamge, BBS News, Kamlong.
The government is yet to come to a decision regarding the merger of Business Opportunity and Information Center and Bhutan Development Bank. However, during the Met the Press on 18th of this month, it was informed that the BOIC will continue to lend. Earlier, the Foreign Minister Damchi Doji had revealed that the government will merge BOIC with Bhutan Development Bank.
The government decided to look at options, one of which was a merger with BDBL. But very quickly people jumped on it and said it's illegal. I am a little concerned that some people are really bent on shooting BOIC down regardless. Our responsibility is to ensure that the important service rendered by BOIC continues. And our responsibility as a government is to ensure that BOIC, no matter what form or shape it takes, is as legal as it is required.
Prime Minister said the services of 42 employees of the Royal Education Council will be extended for 6 months. Earlier, the Royal Education Council had notified its employees that their service will be discontinued from next month. They were recruited while the Royal Education Council was functioning as an autonomous body. Airport security and customs officials at the Paro airport jointly intercepted over $95,000 in cash on Saturday. The undeclared currencies were discovered from 4 Bhutanese businessmen traveling to Bangkok. They also had other currencies in possession. One of the businessmen claims that the money is for his children studying in Thailand. Another said it was for his business, and the other one claimed that it was to meet his medical expenses. According to the foreign exchange regulations, a person bringing in or taking out foreign currency worth $10,000 or more shall have to declare the value at the customs point of arrival or departure. The seized currency has been handed over to the Royal Monetary Authority. To combat poaching and illegal transaction of wildlife products collectively, various law enforcement agencies were introduced to the wildlife products that are traded illegally. It is to help address the shortage of manpower at the Wangchuk Sentinel National Park in Bhutan to monitor illegal activities. In line with this, a workshop on frontline training of illegal wildlife products began on Monday.
These are some of the wildlife products that are illegally traded by the poachers in Bhutan. From animal skins to musk pots, the list goes on. And Bhutan has become a hub for the poachers in the recent years. Many musk deer are killed for musk pots that are used in perfumes. It is one of the most expensive animal products in the world. According to the park officials, musk deer poaching is very common in Bhutan. Officials said the Dzongkhag has high potential to become a transit for the illegal transaction of the wildlife products in future, since it shares international boundaries with China, where it is used in traditional medicine.
We are training the multi-sectors like armed forces, police and BAFRA and revenue custom to detect, for example, like mouse spot, because it's only the foresters who know the mouse spot. But if the mouse spot is being illegally traded through transportation like vehicle or through flight, then I think it's the traffic police or the BAFRA or the immigration people who are at the entry and the exit point to know such product which are being illegally traded.
The Wangchuk Sentinel National Park is also conducting various anti-poaching activities in the areas recently. There are many plans in pipeline to reduce the number of poaching and illegal transaction of wildlife products in the country. For Komal Kharka in Bhutan, Dojjama, BBS News.
The government has deferred construction of all new government offices planned during the current 5-year plan. This is one of the initiatives taken by the government to address the rupee crunch issue and revive country's economy.
The constructions of new buildings for education and agriculture and forest ministries were included in the current 5-year plan. Similarly, a new office for Bhutan Infocom and Media Authority was also planned to be constructed in Motethang. However, following the government's decision, the construction plans worth over 400 million Ngutam will not materialize within the current plan. Finance Minister Namgye Dorji said the construction have adverse pressure on current account deficit. He said everything has to be imported during construction of new buildings.
Whatever rupee we could save, we could divert that for the private constructions, and then small and cottage industries, and then mainly for the agriculture, where we have a lot of scope for us to enhance our production so that the essential items, something which we can produce in our country. So because of this reason, we have deferred the office constructions, except the very important monuments like Ondifurangzong.
Commenting on the issue, Leunchun said the government decided to defer the new constructions during the beginning of the current plan.
At the beginning of the 11th Five-Year Plan, we decided that rather than building excessively large offices, we'd much rather spend that money in other productive areas. And that includes roads, because roads are the economic pipeline of Bhutan.
Leunchun also added that they are aware of some offices having limited space while others are lavishly built. He said the government will look at the matter during the midterm review with respective offices and ministries. Compiled for Chetan Rupchu, Namgye Wangchuk, PBS News.
Although Genshari Primary School is more than 2 decades old, it lacks basic equipment like computers, printers and cyclostyle machine. And in absence of it, the school administration has been facing problems, especially while conducting exams.
Currently, the school has one printer, but it is used only for administrative purpose as it cannot handle huge workload. Therefore, every time examinations need to be conducted, the papers have to be printed in the schools nearby. For the midterm examination this time, the school had to seek help from the Punachangchu Hydropower Project Authority for printing the question papers.
As of now, we have been using our personal laptops for school works like preparing question papers and all. The school once received 2 computers. It has stopped working now. There are so many teaching materials as per the teachers' training modules. So for sharing such materials, I think photocopying machine is necessary in the school.
During unit tests, teachers said questions have to be literally written on the blackboard, which is time-consuming. The school authority had approached the Dzongkhag several times. However, according to the officiating principal, the Dzongkhag said there was not enough budget for procurement of the equipment. The issue was also raised by the Genshari Gub Kilit Dorji during the recent Dzongkhag Tsokdo.
Compared to other schools, I also feel that Genshari school lacks basic equipment. So the issue was raised during the Dzongkhag Tsokdo. And after deliberating on it extensively, the meeting decided to look into the matter.
In the meantime, it is only obvious that the school will have to continue doing things the way it has been doing until now. Compiled for Chonidema, Stringdema Galson for BBS News.
The Road Safety and Transport Authority in Gyeongbu will be distributing a booklet to taxi drivers on taxi fares by the end of this month. The issue of increased taxi fare were also discussed in the recent Dzongkhag Tsokdo.
In March this year, the Gyeongbu Tungkha Court gave their verdict on the murder of a taxi driver in December last year. The court had also asked the RSTA to distribute a booklet on taxi fare within 4 months period. The issue of taxi drivers charging way above the fixed rate also reached the highest decision-making body, the Dzongkhag Tsokdo, recently.
Due to taxi fare, we faced lot of problems in the villages, including the issue of safety. We also saw it on national television that a taxi driver was murdered in Thimphu due to a taxi fare issue. Similarly, we saw a taxi driver being murdered in Gyeongbu. In order to avoid such cases in future, the RSTA should brief the taxi drivers properly when they revise the fare.
Currently, the taxi fares in Gyeongbu are not as per the rates set by the RSTA. But RSTA will be strictly monitoring beginning next month after distributing the booklet. At the moment, there are about 120 taxis in Gyeongbu. For Phuba in Gyeongbu, Sonomugen, BBS News.
Formation cutting for the road to Ula village under Rubisa Geog in Wandipota was completed in 2012, a year after the works first started. However, today, 3 years since, permanent works for the road is yet to complete. This has left the villagers impatient as they claim that the road has not benefited them.
Following the formation cutting, permanent works were carried out only for about 2 kilometers of the 8-kilometer road. From there, it was obstructed by a geologically unstable cliff. Every summer, the cliff gives way to massive landslides, leaving the road blocked and also making it difficult for works to progress.
We clear it every time when there is a block, but to no use. During times of emergencies, when we have to go to the hospital without a proper route, it becomes difficult. We are not sure whether there is no budget or the government is not looking into our problems, or there are some problems at the site. Now that everyone is asking about our road condition, it is embarrassing at times.
Later, a machine from the Central Machinery Unit in Bumtang was deployed to work at the site. However, it was recently handed over to Jala village, leaving some of the villagers disappointed.
We feel that the GURB and Tsokpa are not concerned about the villages. We feel like it's important for the Jala village people to have a road, but not us. The Zongrap also said that Jala village has enough fund. What we expect is that the present machine be used here and for Jala if the GURB could look for another. That way it would be beneficial for everyone.
Rubisa Gup Gates said the machine was handed over to Jala village after discussing the matter with the villages and concerned authorities.
About the machine being handed over to Jala village, I went and discussed the matter with the villagers of Ula. A few were reluctant, so I said, if the work for their farm route is to be completed, then we will do that. I explained that first, we will have to remove the electric pole, and then due to the rain, no matter how many times we clear the block, the site keeps eroding. And if you want to clear from the top, then it will be difficult to transport fuel for the machine. Following all these problems, I further discussed the matter with the Zongda. He said, it's better if the works at Jala village are completed first, because putting it to work at Ula road will be a waste of budget as the land keep eroding. Moreover, Zongda said, by the time works at Jala is complete, the rainy season will also be over.
The GUP said construction of the road was not included in the plant budget. It initially started with 300,000 ngitam from the Geog Development Grant, and today the expenditure has reached 6 million ngitam. For now, the road remains blocked, and according to the GUP, it will be cleared only after the works in Jala village, where the machine is deployed, are complete. For Kinjang Tille in Wangdipota, Sonomongdi, PBS News.
That's all we have for you in this week's edition of Bhutan This Week. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.